Google Pixel 10a rumors point to early launch with limited upgrades. Pixel 10a may arrive much sooner than expected. Google may be preparing a notable shift in its smartphone release strategy. According to a growing number of leaks, the Pixel 10a could launch as early as mid-February, far earlier than the spring or early summer window traditionally used for the Pixel A series. Several reports, including listings traced to European retailers, point to February 17th as a possible announcement or release date. Accessories and protective cases have already begun appearing in retail databases, a sign that supply chains are moving into position. If confirmed, this timing would place the Pixel 10a launch dangerously close to Samsung's Galaxy S26 lineup, inserting Google directly into one of the most competitive periods of the smartphone calendar. Design continuity over reinvention. Early renders and component leaks suggest that Google is not reinventing the Pixel 10a design. Instead, the device appears nearly identical to the Pixel 9a. The flat camera module is expected to return, allowing the phone to sit flush on a table without wobbling. This design choice was widely praised for its practicality and appears to be carried forward unchanged. The display is rumored to remain a 6.3-inch panel, matching the previous generation exactly. Camera hardware also looks familiar: a 48-megapixel main sensor, a 13-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 13-megapixel front-facing camera housed in a simple punch-hole cutout. Taken together, the message is clear. Google sees the Pixel 9a design as good enough and is opting for refinement rather than visible change. Processor strategy signals cost control. One of the more strategically interesting rumors involves the chipset. Unlike previous A-series launches that often mirrored flagship processors, the Pixel 10a is expected to diverge from the Pixel 10 lineup. Instead of adopting a new Tensor generation, the device is rumored to use a slightly enhanced version of the Tensor G4, the same chip found in the Pixel 9 series. Reports suggest modest efficiency and thermal improvements rather than a jump in raw performance. This strongly implies cost discipline. By reusing an existing chip design, Google reduces manufacturing risk, improves yields, and avoids the expense of ramping up a new silicon process for a mid-range device. In today's margin-pressured smartphone market, that choice looks deliberate rather than accidental. Battery and core hardware remain unchanged. Battery capacity is expected to stay at approximately 5,100 mAh, identical to the Pixel 9a, that already places the phone competitively within the mid-range segment and supports Google's conservative approach. Storage configurations are rumored to remain at 128 GB and 256 GB. There is no credible indication of expandable storage or higher-tier options. This reinforces the broader picture. Pixel 10a is shaping up as an incremental refresh rather than a generational leap. Color options target broad appeal. Leaks point to 4 color options: obsidian, berry, fog, and lavender. These align with Google's established naming conventions and branding strategy. The palette balances variety with manufacturing simplicity and avoids bold or polarizing choices. Once again, the signal is mass-market stability rather than enthusiast appeal. Pricing becomes the decisive factor. Pricing may ultimately determine how the Pixel 10a is received. The Pixel 9a launched at $499, and there is little evidence so far that Google plans to move away from that price point. Historically, Google has continued selling older A-series models at the same price even after introducing new versions, reducing the incentive for consumers to upgrade. At the same time, retailers have begun aggressively discounting the Pixel 9a, in some cases by $100 to $150. If the Pixel 10a launches at full price with minimal improvements, it risks being undercut by its own predecessor. From a financial perspective, this suggests Google may be prioritizing margin protection over aggressive unit growth. Strategic implications for Google. An earlier launch window could help Google compete more directly with Samsung and fast-moving Chinese manufacturers in the mid-range Android market. However, the conservative hardware approach suggests Google is operating under tighter constraints. Rising component costs, softer global consumer demand, and pressure on profitability appear to be shaping decisions, rather than pushing innovation. The Pixel 10a seems designed to stabilize Google's position and reinforce ecosystem presence with minimal execution risk. Tempered expectations for consumers. For consumers hoping for a dramatic upgrade, the Pixel 10a may disappoint. Everything currently known points to a device that closely mirrors the Pixel 9a, with timing rather than technology as the main differentiator. That said, predictability has long been the A-series appeal. A clean Android experience, reliable cameras, and solid battery life at a moderate price remain the core value proposition. Whether that will be enough in an increasingly crowded mid-range market will depend almost entirely on pricing, availability, and Google's willingness to support the device aggressively over time. Strategic Assessment Pixel 10a does not look like a product designed to excite. It looks like a product designed to endure. An earlier launch may boost visibility, but without meaningful upgrades, Google will be relying on brand trust and ecosystem loyalty rather than innovation. In the current market environment, that may be a rational choice, but it is not a bold one.